Welcome to Inside Abode, ladies and gentlemen. How y'all doing? I am your host, Dave Jones, and I'm excited for this episode because I know that there's a lot of people who want to know about luxury in Tacoma and the surrounding areas. So, before I get into our guest today, I'm going to invite you to hit subscribe. It's really free, and this is just weekly, and it's all good. You have good information, great people, and why not just join us every week and just see what we're talking about. So we're going to be talking luxury with Heidi Hurst today. But I want to intro Heidi Hurst because she's been the Heidi Hurst of the Heidi Hurst team. I want to correct myself there. Heidi Hurst of the Heidi Hurst team. She's a luxury advisor. She's been a realtor for 18 years. And she's been with Windermere Abode for 3.5 years. And so I'm really excited to have her on. Last time she was on, we were talking luxury, and it's actually the most popular podcast, if you can believe that. It's the most popular podcast that we've had on this podcast. So we asked for Heidi to come back, and we have her. She is here. So we're going to talk about luxury, and I'm excited about this. Heidi, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm so excited to be here with you, Dave, and to represent the Abode brand and Windermere Premier brand. So let's talk luxury. I'm excited about it.
Yeah. So I mentioned you're a luxury advisor. What does that mean? What does that entail?
Right. So within the Windermere brand, we have the strongest brand in the Pacific Northwest as far as luxury. There are stats. I don't know what the stats are, but I've heard it many times. Part of being a luxury a luxury advisor, they used to call them premier directors, is you have sold enough luxury homes, premier branded homes over the recent years in order to qualify for that. You go to the luxury breakfast where you talk with other luxury brokers in Western Washington. And you are one of the people that walks properties to make sure that the Premier brand is kept intact as far as quality and what qualifies for a luxury and a Premier branded home. If you are marketing, there's an elevated opportunity to market through the Windermere Premier brand. And so that auto-populates out to a lot of extra websites and such. And so being a luxury advisor is keeping that brand held to the standard which Windermere Premier expects. So that's it.
Yeah. No, and that's helpful to hear for someone, say, who might be looking to sell their luxury property, that we cover all of these bases in terms of, like, I like how you said it, how it syndicates out, and it's not just about, the listing and you, but also the carrying that Windermere push behind it. And I think I saw, and don't quote me on this, I think it was the Puget Sound Business Journal. In the back, I saw an ad. I was walking through the office yesterday, and I think it said 42% of luxury properties in Puget Sound / King Pierce County. So don't quote me on that, but I was just passing through, and it was just funny that we're having this conversation today, because I looked at that, I was like, man, that's solid.
That's a big number for one brand. That's a big market share for one brand. And, down here in Pierce County, we've had a tremendous amount of luxury properties that have, gone on the market and sold. It's not just price, but it is what actually qualifies for that. And it's been incredible. I've been selling real estate for 18 years. I think my first $1 million listing was here in Old Town, back in 2007. Somebody gave me a chance. They bought and sold over $1 million back in the day. Kim Blake, shout out. And then, I was given so many opportunities to represent other, like $2 million out in Gig Harbor at the time was crazy. And now that might be the median sales price. I have no idea. I've not done the stats. So just because a home is expensive doesn't mean it's necessarily a luxury property, but there is, a qualification for that.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, which was, what even constitutes a luxury property? So we talk about luxury, but what do you consider that being?
Right. Well, I think if you just take luxury as a qualification in general, it's an experience that somebody's going to have, right? It's an elevated experience. And so when we're talking a luxury home, we are talking about a home that has exceptional qualities to it. So it's not just a 1950s home that has an incredible view. What are the qualities inside the home? Outdoor spaces are very important. Fine finishes are important. Does it have to be like up to date, brand new? They just spent, $150,000 to redo their kitchen? No, but everything, the paint has to be in the best place. The presentation of the property, it can't be vacant. It should be staged. It should be just dialed in completely, because when a buyer walks into that home, you want them to have that elevated experience. And so when you're talking about the Windermere Premier brand, that is what we're looking for. And just a prime example of that, I'm going to give a shout out to Regina and Madison when they listed their house over on North Verde here in the North End. They definitely provided an elevated experience, as you did their brokers open, as you did their open house, as you have seen in their marketing. So that is what I would consider currently like top of the line premier branded home in the North End of Tacoma. So shout out to
that listing was a great one. And the brokers open was fun. I missed it, and I'm kind of mad I missed it, because it had like the music, it had the vibe. That was a good one.
Right.
Yeah. So,
it's an older home. So, excuse me, I'm going to interrupt. It has an older home. It has beautiful finishes throughout. They've maintained it wonderfully. They redid the kitchen. They did landscaping in the backyard. It does have a view. It has all of those things that, the bathrooms are updated. Not like right away updated, but updated. So I just feel like when you walk into that house, you have that experience of like, this is home, like, and this is the kind of place that I want to be. Luxury clients want an experience. They don't want, they can, I gave the example of the metropolitan market here in the North End. That is a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle. You walk in, you have a great experience when you're there. 99% of the time, they've got it down. Their presentation is beautiful. The people there are pleasant and professional. You ask about cheese, they're going to talk to you about cheese. Same thing about a luxury home. You want to tell the story of the home, and you want to elevate that experience for a buyer that's coming through. And as a seller, you want to talk to your agent about what they're going to do to elevate that experience for a potential buyer to come through. It's a feeling, it's a presentation, and then it's a feeling as you experience the home.
I like how you bring up the lifestyle part of the conversation, because like when people think luxury, I think that they would, at least for me, if I were to think of it, I would think, I would start with the price, right? And so the fact that you brought up the lifestyle, I think is important. So like if I were someone that was looking to buy a home, like let's say I was coming from New York or wherever, and I was like, hey, I want to move to this area, and and it's a luxury buyer, quote unquote, in terms of price point, where would you direct me to? Like, what would you make me look for? Like, what would you say if I said, hey, I'm looking for a luxury home?
That is a great question. My two favorite words in real estate are "it depends." And so the conversation with that potential client coming through is, what are you looking for? Are you looking for a city vibe? Are you looking to be close to your neighbors? Are you looking for an oasis that is away, maybe a more rural setting? Do you want to be on the water? Are you water people? Do you want a view of Mount Rainier? Do you want a view of the water? What do you like to do when you get home? I ask all of my clients as buyers, when you get home from work, what do you want to do? Do you want to cook in your kitchen? Do you want to be able to have food easily available? Like, what kind of lifestyle are you living as you're asking about, I want to buy a home in a price point? What are you looking for? Do you need to be close to Seattle? Do you want to be down a little bit farther away, down in the Lacey area and Olympia area? It all depends on the conversation that's had. What is your lifestyle? Right?
Yeah.
I like to come home after a hard day's work, and I like to be able to have food easily close by. I'm a city girl, right? I do not want to be in the country isolated because I'm way too extroverted. But
that's me. That's me. I'm totally. I hope my kids aren't listening, but I love my children and I love the life that we have right now. But I'm really looking forward to, like,
I know,
that last part of my life where I can kind of be around, a restaurant and maybe get something from a restaurant because all I have to worry about is feeding myself and Ann, like, hey, what do you want? What do you want? I don't know. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
And so now it's kind of like we have to make
I
like
know.
three
I
different
know.
dinners because like the kids aren't going to eat that, I'm like, okay, well, we got to make
I
freaking
know.
tater
Right.
tots, or whatever. It's just kind of like,
Totally. And they're
so
busy. So like you don't even know when they're going to be home for the same meal. So like you
right,
guys
right.
might sit down for one meal. I know you guys make it a priority to have dinner together, but
We
life
do,
gets
yeah.
busy. So like
Hmm.
yeah, I remember those days. They were a long time ago, but I remember those days.
Yeah. So we mentioned a premier property. Like, so Windermere has a premier program. What does that mean to be a premier property? Because I think that like luxury and premier kind of go hand in hand. However, they're not the same, or
They do.
from what I'm told. So can you explain a
They're
little bit
not
more
this.
about
They're
that?
not the same. Yeah, in order to qualify to be a premier property under the Windermere brand, it does have to fit certain qualifications. So, price point in certain areas is the first one. Because you could have a beautiful $1 million home that was built, as I already said, like in the 50s and it hasn't been updated. So, it's not just price, it
Mm,
is when you walk into the home, does it have any of those luxury qualities? Is there anything super unique about the property? And is it staged? Is it been professionally photographed? Does it have a
mm,
video? That's not part of it, but like, how is the presentation of it? And so, I had a meeting with one of our Abodes about a property in Gig Harbor, and I'm like, yeah, like
yeah,
this could qualify price, but it doesn't have quite the nice finishes. Boy, the front yard needs to be landscaped. It can't look like this. What are you going to do about the backyard? So it was
right,
a question and answer conversation. And I said, you got to have me back when it's a little bit closer and we can see what the presentation is before I'm going to sign off on this property. Not that I want to be hard on it, but the Windermere, I don't know. It's kind of like when you see the Abode logo, you know that you're going to have a certain type of experience. When you see the Premier logo, you know that it's going to be dialed in, that it is a
right.
Premier property, that it's been staged, presented. It has some unique qualities. I mean, I was looking at luxury trends, right? Pools
Yeah.
are a luxury trend. Around the Pacific Northwest, I don't know, water is also qualifying, like if you're on the water. Outdoor space is still vitally important. And again, in the Pacific Northwest, where it is nice, I mean, it is a lovely day outside. It's supposed to be
Yeah.
77 degrees. So if you're across the country and you're like looking at us, this is not typical for May, but we are taking
No,
up
it's
every
not.
moment of it for Memorial Day weekend, right? And so, can you go outside? Is there an experience of being outside? Does it have a built-in barbecue? Does it have a great patio?
Mm,
Is the landscaping completely dialed in? I was laughing about some of the premier, like what we would call W collection, like massage rooms, cold plunge pools are kind of big on trend right now.
wait,
Is your home eco-friendly?
there's actual homes with that in them?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
just insane. Get out of here. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
I know. We're talking like it's funny, I have a designation certified luxury home marketing specialist, and you take this class, and I took it a long time ago, but it was talking about millionaires and then multimillionaires and then billionaires and then multi-billionaires. And I'm like, I live in Tacoma, and like all my millionaire friends are just normal freaking people, right? Who
normal
want an
people.
elevated experience.
Yeah.
But we might be talking about cold plunge pools with people who are multi-millionaires or multi-billionaires,
Yeah.
right? Right. And who knows? People walk in the door, you don't know who they
I
are. They're just
mean,
great people that you want to work with. Oh, yeah,
don't be surprised if you
yeah.
see me with a cold pool in my lifetime at some point in time. Now that you've opened up those possibilities.
I know.
No,
Now
but
that
no,
you know what the elevated, right? Yeah,
yeah, but
definitely.
then,
Like what's eco-friendly, no wood
mhm,
burning fireplaces, water purification systems, electric charging. Those are all, could be luxury, but in the premier world, how is that home presented? Is it dialed in? Are all the baseboards are the baseboards chipped with paint? No, we don't want
mm,
that. We want that experience to be like you are walking into a five-star, not hotel, but presented that way, where it is
right.
the experience that you're having in the home. Yeah.
Yeah, and that spans across, and like I like how you mentioned we were talking about the Verde listing earlier, and the that experience
Right.
is rolled into the way it's marketed, the way it's presented, the way the opens are, the way and that's a
Right.
thing, and that takes a lot of work in it,
Right.
and and I'm not gonna like
Right.
spill I'm not gonna tell all your secrets, but at the same time, I know that you have a team around you, the Heidi Hurst team, and you provide this
Right.
experience for people, which is different than
Right.
what a lot of other
Right.
people are doing. So,
Yeah, and I think that, I do get some of my clients who are like, "Oh, you don't want to take on our listing." Well, guess what? Like all this experience that I have in luxury and premier, it it is a way that I can elevate their home's opportunity in the marketplace because we go above and beyond for all of our listings. Even our
mhm,
really nice ones out in Gig Harbor that are $250,000 that are really need a lot of work, right?
mhm,
But
right,
that client gets the same experience, not quite the same exposure, but like when we're listing a $950,000 home, it is a luxury experience, even though it doesn't hit that premier brand. If we're
right.
listing a $450,000 home here in the North End or a $500,000 home, it is the same experience. It's the same level of marketing. It just doesn't auto populate out to all the luxury websites. So with the Heidi Hurst team at least, and I know most of the Abodes, you're going to get an elevated experience on all price points.
Hmm.
And then there is an above and beyond for a premier property because that is just what the premier brand does for your elevated property. Yeah.
No, that's just an interesting. I think I like the trends. So talking about the trends is really helpful. So thank you for that. Because there's things that, like I said, like you even just saw my you saw my response to like, oh, I didn't know plunges were in homes. Like, so I think that's good for a lot of people to hear. Honestly,
Right, right.
are there any other like
Oh,
so
I'm
one?
going to interrupt. Just for the record, I've
Yeah.
not seen a cold plunge pool in the north end of Tacoma as of yet. But whoever's putting one in, give me a call because I want to see what it's going to look like. So I'll
Yeah.
interrupt.
What
Yeah.
One thing I think about too when we talk about luxury and what other people might be tracking, or maybe because our median price in Tacoma continues to climb, and like we've talked about this, I think over and when I'm talking
Right.
about this, I'm thinking in a 10-year span or 5-year span. I'm not thinking like next year, but our prices are going
Right.
to continue to climb into the median of 800,000. And so does that mean that we have more luxury properties in Tacoma if the median price goes up? Is that going to be the case?
Right.
Because you might have sellers coming in thinking that they're selling a luxury property just because of the price point. Do you feel like that's going to be the
Right.
case,
Right.
or how do we manage people's, expectations around that?
Expectations.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And homes are so close to the heart, right?
Yeah.
So people may think that they have a premier property or a luxury property just because it's that price. And as a real estate professional, to be able to go in and have a frank conversation saying, hey, here are the things you could do to elevate your property to get it to that premier brand. And you may choose to do that, but if not, we're gonna market your home as a luxury home, not under the premier brand, but we're gonna market it that way, and we're gonna do our full marketing push that we do, and we're gonna give you a different look for your property than we would for maybe our $500,000 home. So it's
Hmm.
really that conversation and those clear expectations of what a premier property is and what a luxury property is.
Mm.
Um, so sometimes it's price point. Sometimes it's, gosh, it is like that house is dialed in. It meets the criteria for price, but it's also completely dialed in as far as the experience that a buyer is going to have when they come through it. They're not going to notice chipped paint. They're not going to notice,
Right.
the cupboard that's hanging incorrectly. They're going to notice that it is a luxury property. Yeah.
Well, that's all
Did I
really good
answer that question?
information. Is there anything else that you want to tell the people about luxury properties while we're here?
Yeah, I think that your home is beautiful and precious, and that the experience that you're having in your home is how we're going to sell your home to
Hmm.
other clients and other potential buyers as we market it. And so again, a lot of conversations about whether it's going to qualify to be a premier property or a luxury property. And I think that we all live in, like, my house is not a luxury house, but it's my home, and I love it here. And that anybody who's talking to you about putting your home on the market should be honoring that you live in, I feel like I live in a pretty luxury house. Like, I think it's pretty fancy. And if I ever sell this house, I'm going to market it as with all that fanciness, even though it's not in the price point or the quality of a premier home. I also just want to be really clear. 4602 North Verde Street is on the market by a fellow Abode team, Regina and Madison, and they just did an amazing job. It's not my listing. I don't want to take any credit for it. I'm just trying to give them a shout out and to give somebody like a current presentation of like what a house could look like. So, and we sold a lot of premier properties last year. The Heidi Hurst team did. So, I don't feel like I need to shout y'all back to what we did, but currently, right now, if somebody's looking, that is a dialed in premier property.
Yeah. Well, you have your own share of dialed in premier properties as well, so people can go take a look.
I know.
We'll link them down. We'll link them. No, but that's really cool that you shouted them out too, because that is part of the ethos of Windermere Abode. Honestly, is there's enough out here for everybody, and we just help each other and collaborate and provide the best service for people. So, and to your point about luxury, I live like this is what I'm doing. Like compared to like who I know and how I grew up, like everything is luxury. Like. My old Honda right now is luxury if you were to ask 16-year-old me. Anyway.
Totally get it.
Yeah, it's all a matter of perspective and what you're used to, what you want, what your goals.
100%. Yeah. I find that my luxury clients, in that higher end, they just want an elevated level of service. They want an elevated level of marketing. They want to know that they can trust you. As somebody who's gone through a few things in the last year, like I hired professionals to do professional jobs.
Just do your job.
And so typically a luxury client is coming to you as a top-notch professional in your field. Do you have experience? And if you don't have the experience, who can you talk to bring somebody in to help you with that experience as a broker, right? So not everybody had the leg up that I did when I first started, or the continuing opportunity to have relationships with those clients to market their homes. So there are people that, if you are a broker listening to this, right, you just lean into somebody. You just lean into somebody in your office. I just went out and looked at a premier property, not under a luxury property, for another broker in our market, because she's like, you sell a lot of houses. So like, what are your thoughts on this? And so I was able to share my experience and my thoughts about it. And so I think that my clients want to trust a professional to do a professional job. That's why I'm willing to pay a premium for that. That's why the Heidi Hurst team is willing to be that person for people who come in the door, who want an experience, who want a trusted professional with experience. And so that's what we're about. We're here about elevating everybody's experience in our marketplace.
Well, I think that's what you do. And, I think in terms of luxury, if I'm pointing someone in any direction in terms of luxury, it's you, it's the Heidi Hurst team. There's others too, but I think that you do a great job. And I think there's only one Heidi Hurst team in our market. So anyway, that's how I see it.
I love what I do. I'm so lucky.
All right. That's the next. So are you ready for the next segment?
I'm ready for the next segment.
Next segment.
Bring it on. Hot takes.
All right. Okay. So this is hot take. So I'm going to give you two options of. I don't think we did hot take last time you were on. Anyway, we're going to do it today. I'll give you two options of things, and you just got to pick one. You just got to pick one. All right. Are you ready for hot take?
Okay. I'm ready. Let's go. Hot takes. Right. Take one.
Winter or summer?
Summer.
Oh, you're a summer person.
Okay. Sunshine. Sunshine, summer. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. Summer hot dogs or baked potatoes in the fall?
Oh, baked potatoes in the fall, man. Yeah,
really?
sour cream,
You're a summer person.
Butter, all of it. But
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
interesting.
I'm not
Okay.
a hot dog person, so
Oh, okay,
maybe a hot dog for
okay.
me, yeah.
All right. Straight hair or curly?
That's such a great question. Well, right now it's curly hair. I'm trying to embrace my curls. Curly hair. Let's go. Let's be natural.
Yeah, there you
Less
go.
maintenance.
All
Yeah.
right. Binge a series or binge a book?
Oh. I'll go book first. I read voraciously during COVID. It was my escape, and so I've read I've probably read about 17 books of the same series, I'd say, one after the other. Thank goodness for Kindles, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And the last question. Sunny backyard kickback or a nightwave show?
So good. Oh, I don't know if I can choose. Well, I can have sunny backyard whenever it's sunny, and I'm gonna pick Nightwave. And Michael, you just got a shout out on the Windermere Abode podcast. So let's go Nightwave.
There you go. All right. Well, you graduated hot take. So we also have another hot take. I'm going to probably start some hot take segments with actual hot sauce, but congrats on getting through hot take and thank you. So how do people reach out to you if they need to want to know more about luxury properties, have a luxury property to sell? How do they reach out to you?
Sure. Well, you can reach out to me. My name is Heidi Hurst, HeidihUrst. You get onto the Googler, as I hear it's called, and we are right there, Heidi Hurst team. You can go to the Windermere Abode website and find us there. You can check out our premier listings there as well. What else? Yeah, give me a call. Call me on my phone, 253-232-5100. I'm
go.
here for it. Send me a text. We'd love to start a conversation with anybody who wants to reach out.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being on once again. I think there's a lot of great information in this. Thank you for your expertise. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your time. I know your time is valuable. So thank you for taking that time with the folks here on the Inside Abode podcast audience. And we will see y'all next time. Peace out.
Next time.
Next
Yeah.
time.
Thanks, Dave. Bye, everybody.